On behalf of the Victory Campaign Board, thank you all for being here and for your support. Together, we are going to elect even more LGBTQ leaders this year and continue making history.
Now, without further ado, we're excited to keep this program going. It's our pleasure to introduce someone who has been themselves a tremendous leader in our movement. Please welcome to the stage LGBTQ Victory Fund Action Board Chair Wade Rakes.
Thank you, Matt and Juju. Thank you. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, friends. What a beautiful day to celebrate community, courage, and progress. 27 years ago, at college orientation, I met someone with the last name Moore, Shawnee Moore. She was brilliant, grounded, and full of heart. Over the years, she's become a dear friend, one of those people who stays in your life through all the highs and lows. So when Shawnee called me in 2022 and said, "My brother is running for governor of Maryland," I paid attention. She told me about his story: military school, graduating Phi Beta Kappa from Johns Hopkins, earning a Rhodes Scholarship, serving as a U.S. Army officer in Afghanistan, advising Condoleezza Rice as a White House fellow, becoming a successful entrepreneur and best-selling author, and leading one of the largest anti-poverty organizations in the country. But most importantly, husband to First Lady Dawn Moore and father to their children. I was impressed. But honestly, I supported him because he was Shawnee's brother. Because in life, what matters most is who shows up for you and who speaks up for you. That's why it brings me such joy to have him here with us today. A leader who shows up every single day, not just with policy, but with purpose. A history maker, a change maker, and above all, a people-first public servant. Since taking office, Governor Moore has shown what leadership rooted in love and lifted by justice looks like. Under his watch, Maryland has raised the minimum wage, launched the nation's first service year program, and made real investments in education and housing. And he's been there for the LGBTQ community, standing up, speaking out, and showing up. From expanding access to care to uplifting LGBTQ youth. He leads with action. At the 2023 Baltimore Pride Parade, just months into his term, Governor Moore grabbed the mic and he said, "Today is a day when we say to our friends in the LGBTQ community, you aren't just welcome, you are necessary." That's not just a quote. That's not just a quote, that's a promise. So with pride in our hearts and purpose in our voices, please join me in welcoming our champion of equality, Governor Wes Moore.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Man, I'm so happy to be here. And it's so good to see y'all and Wade. That's my guy, man. No, I'm so serious. That's my guy. And it's not just because he is Shawnee's friend, but because he is righteous and he is true and he really is a remarkable leader. And I had the joy. Wade, where's your mom at? Hey, mama. So I had the joy of meeting Wade's mom earlier, and I told her, I was like, you did good. You did good. Because it's true, because not often do you get a chance to see a person who is not just a great leader, but a great human being. Right? Sometimes you have to choose between the two. And what you did with Wade, he didn't choose. He's both. And I want to thank God for you, for the amazing champion that you have raised. And Wade, I want to thank God for you, for the amazing leader and friend that you are, man. God bless you, and thank you so much for everything. Thank you. And this really is an honor to be here with you all at the Victory Fund. And first, I just want to say to Joe and the entire board of directors, where's Joe at? God bless you. God bless you. And to you and the entire board of directors, thank you for the leadership. Thank you for the push. Thank you for the fight. It is more needed now than ever before, because never as a society can we become a society where someone's humanity needs to be justified. Particularly justified to people who never gave it to you in the first place and who have no rights and no authority to try to take it from you in the second place. So to the entire board and to all the members, I want to say thank you for always fighting the good fight. I also just want to say a very quick thank you to the staff who made this happen. Sometimes people come to amazing events and think they just kind of just happen that way without realizing the countless amount of hours and the amount of people who haven't slept in a whole week to try to make it happen. So to the staff, also to the staff here at the hotel, I just want to say big shout outs to y'all and thank you so much for everything you continue to do. And also, where's Evan? Where's Evan? Evan, just want to say congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations to you and on your leadership, and I want to let you know that we stand with you today, we'll stand with you tomorrow, and we'll continue standing with you in this organization and make sure you continue rising to new heights. Congratulations on the new leadership role. So I promised Wade I was going to be short, but I got the microphone, so it's hard now. But I will. I'll be short. I promise. But I do want to also just give a shout out to all my Marylanders. Where are my Marylanders at? So I'm so thankful to be your neighbor, and I view the world in two things. I view the world as Marylanders and soon to be Marylanders. But to all the current Marylanders, I just want to say what an honor it is to be your governor. And what an honor it is to be your partner inside this work. And also, I want to give a special shout out. I know we have some legislators from the Maryland General Assembly and local elected officials who are here. Can you either just stand or raise your hand so we can acknowledge you and just thank you for your leadership and work as well? Thank you, guys. Thank you. And honestly, it is a real honor to be your partner inside this work. When I was first inaugurated, I made a promise to the people of the state. And I made a promise that I said we were going to be a state where we leave no one behind. And I told them that it was something that I learned when I was 17 years old when I first joined the Army. In fact, I told people I was so young, my mother had to sign the paperwork for me because I was still a minor. But after my teenage years, my mother would sign whatever paperwork that the Army put in front of her to sign me up. But our second day of training, they taught us that. Leave no one behind. Ever. That if you get one of my people, I will send a battalion in to go get them if I have to. We leave no one behind. And I was very clear on my very first day, and I was very clear as early as our first inaugural address, that Maryland would be a safe haven for the LGBTQIA+ community unapologetically and strongly, no matter who wants to come, because that's what leave no one behind means. And we showed people that these were not just words, that we believed in a show, don't tell administration. And a show, don't tell administration means things like, in our first days working together to ensure, and where I was very proud to sign, in our first 100 days, the Trans Health Equity Act into law inside of the state of Maryland, which requires all Medicaid plans in the state of Maryland to cover gender-affirming care. that I was proud to know that we could use executive action. And one of the nice things about being a governor is you can actually use executive actions, which is great. Even though I make sure that my executive actions are actually constitutional. But where I signed executive action, making sure that we were protecting anyone who is seeking, receiving, or providing gender-affirming care in our state, even when they go to other states, because in the state of Maryland, we believe that humanity is humanity and it will be protected and served. That in the state of Maryland, we are working together to making sure that we are decriminalizing HIV and promoting best practices in HIV prevention and care. And then in the state of Maryland, when we are talking about hate crimes and saying that we are going to push back against anyone who wants to use hate as a motivator behind their violence, and that includes against the LGBTQIA+ community, that in the state of Maryland, hate will find no oxygen and there will be consequences to people who are using these type of actions against our community members.
Yep.
So I want to be clear, we show, don't tell. We want to do the work in the state of Maryland, and we want to make sure that the state of Maryland can be the true safe haven that I promised during my inaugural address. But it's for this reason. It's because we never forget who we're fighting for. And I'm a true believer that if you never forget who you are fighting for, you will never stop fighting. And that means fighting for Matthew in Canton, who changed his wedding date before Donald Trump took office to make sure that his constitutional rights would be protected. We're going to fight for Matthew. It means making sure we're fighting for Haley and Ellie, who are in Ellicott City, who worry about not being able to adopt children anymore. It means making sure that we are going to fight for the humanity of Billy in Pasadena, who is a trans educator, who has faced, and by the way, a celebrated educator inside of Pasadena, who has faced several harassment online images now because her image was put online by far-right social media sites. We're going to fight to make sure our people are protected. We are going to fight to make sure we leave no one behind. And I'm going to remember the oath that I took when I was 17 years old, that we would protect the Constitution and protect this country against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I will be very clear. I will work with anyone. I will work with anyone to make sure that we are protecting the rights of Marylanders and making sure that Marylanders are lifting up. But while I will work with anyone, I will bow down to no one. And the work that the Victory Fund is doing is making sure that people can live their life and live their freedom and live their humanity in decency and respect. That humanity does not have gradations, or humanity does not have evaluation sectors that are being established by people who frankly do not have the right to establish them. That we will protect people, and we will make sure that every single person in our society knows that every single room that you are not in that room because of someone's benevolence. You are not in that room because of someone's kindness. You are not in that room because of someone's social experiment. You are not in that room because someone wanted to sprinkle diversity into the room. You are in that room because you belong in that room, and you are in that room because the room was incomplete until you showed up. That is the leadership. That's why the Victory Fund matters. That's why your leadership in this moment matters. And that's why in this time, when I say we will be victorious against all enemies, foreign and domestic, I mean that. God bless you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for the work that you do. And we will rise. God bless you guys, and thank you.